Hello everyone. Welcome to a mini weekly LeetCode Roundup. So it's official a little bit. I missed my first day yesterday. I probably don't plan on missing any other days soon, but let me just give you all a brief sort of look into why that happened. So it wasn't really intentionally made to be a break of any sort. However, yesterday was my girlfriend's sister's birthday party, and I had a pretty busy day ahead of me, and I woke up really early to go down to visit my family. And I could have done a stream really early in the morning, but I wanted to go and see my family. And by the time we came back from all the events we had done with my family and also my girlfriend's sister, it was really late. So I just decided to take that as a break. And then today we're coming back to do our weekly LeetCode Roundup. So I hope it doesn't sidetrack anyone. I know there's plenty of content to watch on the LeetCode channel, on the channel that I've been creating since July 16th. If you want to see that stuff over there, there's plenty of stuff for you to view. So with that being said, like all the weekly roundups we've done, what I normally do is I start from page 0 of LeetCode, and I'll go through all the questions. I'll see if any new ones have popped up, or if we just have a chance to maybe revisit an old one. And the reason I do this is just to round out the amount of questions we've done, because as we start doing this, of course, there'll be new questions that prop up, and those questions may be added to the beginning of the list, so it gives us a chance to go back and view it. So really happy to be back here again. I feel like I haven't done this in forever, even though the last time I did it was on Friday, but it feels good to be back. And yeah, let's just go ahead and get started. So we'll go to easy here. We'll go to acceptance, and we'll just start going down this list like we always do and see what question we come up to. All right, looks like this is a new question here. It's called sort the people. So let's go ahead and start at this one. And it looks so far that it has a great like to dislike ratio, so I really like that. Let's see what it says here. You're given an array of strings names and an array heights that consists of distinct positive integers. Both arrays are of length n. For each index I, names I and height I denote the name and the height of the person. Return names sorted in descending order by the people's heights. So 180, 165, and 170. Then we have Alice, Bob, and Bob. The first Bob is the tallest, followed by Alice and second Bob. Okay, and all the heights are distinct, so there won't be any two that are the same. So let me just think of ways that we can do this, because if I know, let me see, n is what? N is names.length equals heights.length. This could be 10 times 10 times 10. 1 less than or equal to names I.length. Okay, that's just the length of the name. The heights of I, okay, and names of I consists of lower and uppercase English letters. But the length of heights itself, let's see, 10 to the power of 3. Because what I'm thinking about doing, what we can do, but each of the individual heights won't be able to fit. One of the ways that I thought that we can do this is we could store, like if I had an array that was large enough to fit every individual value, because this is going to be what, like 10 times 10 times 10 is 1,000 times 10. That's going to be what, 100,000. That's too big, I think, to be making like a fixed size array. One thing we could do is we can sort it. Yeah, we can add all these to, or actually are these, let's see, Mary, John, and Emma. We can create sort of a mapping between Mary, or rather between the name and the height, and then we sort the heights, and then we go through the heights again, and then map the height back to the name, and that's how we get here. So that's something I would like to try out. It'd be nice if we can do this a faster way. We might be able to, and this maybe is just like our first go at it. So let's see what we can figure out here. So let's go ahead and create our height map. Set this equal to an object literal. What we could do is we can say for let I equals 0, I less than names.length, I plus plus. We could say that height map of heights of I is equal to names of I, right? And now we can say sorted heights. And we want it in descending order, right? So Alice first, yeah. So what we'll do is we'll make a copy of the heights, and then we'll sort it A, B, and we'll return B minus A, which will give us the descending orders. And then what we can do is we could say, let's say return, we want, yeah, I guess like we can do return sorted heights dot map. Here we get a height, and we can just say height map for height. So let's see what this gives us. Mary, Emma, and John. Okay, looks good so far. Let's run this second test case here. Bob, Alice, and Bob. Bob, Alice, and Bob. Mary, Emma, John. Okay, looks good for both. Wow, well, look at that. So that at least helps me feel that this is actually one of the better ways of solving this question. Let me just go over it one more time. So what I'm doing here is I'm creating an object literal, and then for each one of the different, I'm like looping through the names. I'm creating an object literal where the key is the height, and then the value is just the name at that same index. Then I create a new array of the heights that are sorted in descending order from tallest to shortest. And then finally, I just map over my sorted heights array, and I just return the name of the person that's at that height, right? And because sorted heights is, well, sorted, we're going to get back the right answer. So if we think about the time complexity here this will go O of n, where n is the length of names. However, this sort really is the bottleneck here. So the sort that we'll be using here is quicksort, because JavaScript's the engine that JavaScript uses, I mean, it's probably browser dependent, but this is a Chromium-based browser with Edge, so we're using the V8 engine, and we'll be using a variant of quicksort. So because of this, although for arrays that are smaller in size, it might be using insertion sort, but maybe that's just implementation details. Really, our bottleneck for all intents and purposes is this quicksort, which is n squared, or rather n log n. And then finally, our space complexity will be, I guess, the length of heights. So O of h in this case, where h is the length of heights. Cool. If heights was smaller, if there was only going to be like 100 heights, I might create something like a fixed array that already has 100 slots loaded into it, right? That would make it a lot easier for the engine to optimize for that, since it doesn't have to worry about, well, we don't really know how large this can get, whereas with a fixed size array, we know it will always be 100 indices. All right, so that's pretty cool. Let's keep it going. I like that. That was a nice first question to get us warmed up here. Let's just keep going down the list and see what the next one is. Okay. Minimum time to type word using this will be like the third time maybe that we've tried this one. Should we go back to it? What will be the next one? Projection area of 3D shapes. Some of these are just really bad, right? Should we go over this one again? We probably should do this one again. And I think a person that normally visits my streams, his name's John Taylor. I don't know if John's listening. If you are, you gave me a hint about this question earlier. Something about a modulo 97. I wonder if that has to just do with if that just has to do with 97 being lowercase letter a. And here we're just going to have lowercase English words. So if we did A to B, like 0 to 1, but if I was going B to Z forward, or B to Z the other way, I mean, would we do, let me see. What if we did 25, so 24 modulo 97 is, well, that's 24, okay. But what if we went the other way, where we did 2 minus 24 is 22, and then modulo 97 is, see, but that wouldn't work though. Because really it's trying to figure out if like, does it make more sense to go right? Like go from this B right to the Z this way, or just go from B to the Z that way? So my thing has always been, how do I calculate that distance? And why is that so difficult? At any point we can always go forward. And by the way, forward might still take us over the edge. Like if we can go from Y to A, which would take us to over the edge, or we can go from A to Y, right? So it's always trying to figure out like that hump, which is the Z. So let's think about this. I think I need to understand exactly what it is that I'm trying to do when I do this. If we do YZA, we go from Y to A. When we pass that hump there, how do I figure out that this is just 2? It's like I'm going, because y in this case would be 24, z will be 25, a will be 0. So I'm going from 24 to 0. But if we did 24 modulo 97, that gives us 24. What if we did 97 modulo 24? That gives us 1. So that's, it would be nice if it was, if it was 2, that'd be great, because then could we do 24 to 0, or, yeah, I guess it would be the same. 97 modulo 24, or 24 modulo 97. I guess we can also, like, we could change it up a little bit where, let's say we always have, let me draw this out. Right, I want to draw this out here. Imagine we have just like this line right here, and A, let's just say A is represented by like this dot right here. Oh wait, what is this? That's not a circle. Oh, that's a circle. Okay, I want to use this one. Yeah. So just by this, like if this is A right here, right? It's always going to be like, we're going to have a letter that's either going to be to the right of A or to the left of A. If it's a Y, it'll be left of A. If it's a B, it'll be to the right. So maybe that's what I should try and figure out. Like, oh, wait a second though. A Y can be left, but also forward. So maybe we should just always figure out the distance. Like any one of these characters. Oh wait, I'm in the wrong place here. Any one of these characters, if I go from B to Z, I can always go forward, right? If I go from, but then that gets me to the same place. If I go from B to A, maybe I should just always find the distance to the closest 25 and then add a letter. But that's only if I'm going forward, because what if I'm trying to go to like Y to A? Do I go 24? 24 to 25 is 1. And 25 to, so that's 2. I think more simply what I should try and understand is the idea that if we have something like this, it's almost like a circular queue, right? Actually, let's figure it out just like this. Imagine we have like different numbers here. So we have 1. Oh. We have 2, we have 3. Oh man, I hate when this happens, because it wants to write the number inside. Let's say here we have 3 and here we have 4. How could I, if I add 2 to this, so 0, 1, 2, if I did 2 plus 2 modulo, how would I get back to the 0 if I went 1 and then back to 1? I think what we can do is if we did something like, let me move this. Come over here to the console. If this is index 2 and I add 2 to that, if I want to wrap around back to the 4, would it just be 2 plus 2 modulo, right? It's going to be the modulo, it's going to be the length of the array if I want to end back in the same spot. So if I want to go from 24, let's think about this. If I want to go from B to A this way, how far would it be? Well, I know my index here. I know my end. So 0 is equal to what? 2 plus 2. Or I guess index plus, let's see. I guess forward movement. Forward movement modulo length of array. I'm just going to enter here so I don't lose that, because what I'm trying to signify here is if I want to go from B to A, B being 1 and A equals 0, I would do B plus my forward movement, in this case will just be the length of my array, or my forward movement is what? If I want to go to the end, if I want to go from, let's see, 0, 1, 2, 3, this is 1, so 3, I can do 25 minus 1, 2 plus 25 minus current index 2 plus, okay. No, this is the index plus, right? And this will be its own thing. And then from here, I guess we can have the length of the array. So here would be 26. So if we did 2 plus, let's see, 25 minus 1, that's 24. That's 26 modulo, well, 26. Yeah, that gives me 0. Now, if I went the other way, if I want to go from B, no, but see, that still doesn't work. How do I get that total distance? I need to figure out like how far I need to go to be able to get to 0 here. So for me to get from 1 to 0, I need to be able to solve for that. I know I need to go to 0, and I'm currently at 1. I guess 26 is the answer here. Yeah, why is this one so tricky? If I'm at any one of these, A to B, B to Z, and then Z to A, Z to J, so it's like 25 to what? C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, 10. J is 9. So 25 to 9 is what? This is very difficult. It seems like an easy question, but it's just like me trying to get the math right. Oh, wrong thing here. Counterclockwise to Z in 1 second, and then Z to J. If I want to go from index 25 to index 9, I can go backwards, which means I can go 15 left, right? Or I can go 9 forward. I guess at every point, I'm always, again, the whole concept of like, anytime I go forward, I'm always going to have, if I'm trying to go from 25 to 19, or from 25 to 9, now if I was, what if it was the other way? If it was 9 to 25, it'd still be 15. The total distance is 15. Or the other way. It can be 15 forward or clockwise. Now, will clockwise always necessarily mean left? So I'm going for 25 to 9. If I go left, I can just subtract. If I go forward, I can add. If I did 25 plus 9, that's 34. 34 modulo 26 is 8. Maybe I should do 34 modulo 25. Now, someone had mentioned 97. I'm not sure that will be 97 though. 34 modulo 25 is 9. 25 plus 9, that's 34. 34 modulo 25 is 9. That's if I want to go from 25 to 9. Or I can take the distance. Are those like both the cases there? If I go from B to Z is 26 modulo 25. Well, that just becomes 1, so that's definitely not the answer. What is the, I'm looking for a formula here. This is a circular cube. That's exactly what this is. A circular cube. We just need to see which way, left or right, to go. That's the shortest distance. And A to Z. We always have 2 different ways that we can go. Man, 10 minutes and still, I mean, this is the 3rd time we look at this question and we still can't. Is it time for us to like maybe look at some hints? Yeah, 2 possible directions. You'll always go in the direction that takes the least amount of time. Okay, that's fine. But how do we get the formula? I think at this time we should look at discussions because we've been focusing on this question for a long time. Okay, so point starts at A for each row. We check the minimum between going clockwise or counterclockwise. So this is, we can do the absolute value of character minus point. Okay, or 26 minus abs of point minus ch. I want an explanation of that though. That's what I really want an explanation of. Okay. Clockwise, counterclockwise, choose the minimum between them. Word at car I, the difference is the current minus the previous. We can get the diff or 26 minus previous. Ah. We were really close, I think, in this last one. So we can do the current minus the previous. Counts plus or equals math.min of diff, or 26 minus diff. That still does, I guess 26 minus diff is just always going to, like, how does that account for? Oh, it's 26. Okay, we have the diff, which is just the current minus previous, or 26 minus the diff. I don't want to just like, I need to really understand this. Current minus the previous, that's what the difference is. So if we're going from B to Z, or let's say from Z to B, okay, that will give us one side, sure. Let's just load this up so we don't forget the solution. Or 26 minus diff. It's like we're doing, if we go from Z to B, the current minus the previous, that's like, I guess that would be our forward motion. Or we would do 26 minus, that's the piece that doesn't make sense to me, 26 minus diff. Are there any other solutions that explain this a little bit more? We can travel through one part of the circle for abs A minus B steps, or in another direction for 26 minus abs A minus B steps. (26) minus the absolute value of A minus B. If anyone knows why this makes sense, please let me know. 26 minus that distance. That's strange. I'm not gonna write the answer there because I don't think that's fair. I think this one we had seen before, but this was a really bad one. I mean, the projection area, yeah, not even gonna bother with that one yet. Matrix cells in distance order. Have we done this one? We're given 4 integers, rows, columns, R center, and C center. There's a row by columns matrix, and you are on the cell with the coordinates R center, C center. Return the coordinates of all the cells in the matrix sorted by their distance from R center, C center, from the smallest distance to the largest distance. You may return the answer in any order that satisfies this condition. Distance between 2 cells, okay. Rows 1, columns 2, R center and C center. Output 0, 0, and 0, 1. Rows 2, columns 2, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0. Rows 2, columns 3, R center, C center. The distances from 1, 2 to other cells. There are other answers that would also be accepted as correct, such as, so do we just need to take, like, if I can generate all the pairs of rows and columns, and then we can just also start, yeah, I think, so output is 1, 2, 0, 2. I guess each one of these gets its own, there's one way that we can do these. There's one way that we can do this. However, I'm not sure if it's like the best way of doing it, but we can store, let's see, this is going to be it's going to be interesting. Are these all distinct distances? The smallest distance to the largest distance. You may return the answer in any order that satisfies this condition. Okay, let's do this. So let's say const distances. We can set this equal to an object literal. Then what we can do is we can say for let I equals 0, I less than rows, I plus plus, or let's just do for let row equals 0, row less than rows, row plus plus. For let column equals 0, column less than columns, column plus plus. We'll say const distance, and then we'll get this thing right here. So distance between two cells, R1C1 and R2C2. So we'll do math.abs of R center minus row plus math.abs of, let's see, C center minus column. We can say if distances of distance is equal to undefined. Here we'll say distances at this distance is equal to an empty array, and then we'll say distances of distance dot push. Here we want to push these coordinates, right? So we'll have row and column. So what we're going to be left with here is an object literal where the key is the distance and the values are all the coordinates that are at those values. I think what we can do now, so it says from the smallest distance to the largest distance, may return the answer in any order that satisfies this condition. Let me think about this. It'd be nice, what we could do, we can say const all cells is equal to an empty array. We can then sort, let's think about this. We can sort the keys in our distances object in order from smallest to largest. And then for each one of those keys, we'll just get the values at that key and push them to all cells. So what does that look like? That would be something like, I think we can do all that in one go. We could do, I think we can do it all in one go. So return object.values, or rather object.keys of distances. This will give us all the keys and distances. We'll sort it. So we'll say D1 and D2, distance 1, distance 2, smallest to largest, D1 minus D2. And then for each one of these, we'll get a distance and we'll return. Can we actually do... I'm curious if I can actually do distances. Oh, distances at distance. What will that actually, will that work? Nan and nan, that's great. Let's go ahead and print out this distances thing and see what it looks like. Console.log distances. 0, 0, 0, 1, okay. So object.keys of distances, we're going to sort it by distance, and then we're going to map getting the distances. We're going to go inside of here. Yeah, so maybe let's just do const sorted distances equals object.keys of distance. And now I'm also realizing that these distances are going to be strings. So it's going to be a little annoying to have to object.keys of distances. We'll do the same thing here where we sort. Really, we can still do this whole thing. The only thing is we need to also parse these. Parse int of D1 minus parse int of D2. Let me just log this out to see what we got. Sorted distances. Let's just remove that just so we can see this output here, console log. Okay, we get a 0 and a 1. That's fine. Now what we can do, I think now we can say return sorted distances dot map, where we get the distance and we return. Actually, very similar to the first question that we did. What does this give us? That's still nan. Is it because, is it not able to, I wonder if I can do this. Can I not spread everything into that final result? Let's try this. The thing is, this is going to have multiple values, right? That's probably why it doesn't like it. Nan and nan. Okay, let's try one final thing here. So const all cells for const distance of sorted distances. We'll say all cells dot push distances of distance. Return all cells. Can we do this? Why doesn't that? For const distance of sorted distance, console.log distance, right? This should just be a string. I should be able to index std out 0 and 1. Oh, but these are, well, not a number and not a number. Console.log distance of distance. So is there just nothing in this array? There's just nothing in this 0 and undefined? Your input is 1 and 2. Yeah, I think it's because actually I want to see how this looks for all of them. Let me just remove all this again. I want to see what console.log distances looks like for inputs that are larger. One, 2, 0, 2, 1, 1. Output is 0, 1. The distances from 0, 1 to other cells are 0, 1, 1, 2. The answer is 0. Wait, what? Oh, okay, that's for the next one. 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0. Yeah, that's exactly what's here. That's the answer. So why? And I'm curious, like this actually maintained the order, but 0, 1, 2, 3, I almost feel like that's not always the case, right? Const all cells. We can also try for const. Let's just do key value of object.entries of distances. All cells dot push value. Return all cells. Can we do this? This gives me nan. That is wild. What am I missing here? For const key value of object entries, this should give me a key value pair where the key is 0, just like exactly what we saw when I printed this out earlier. The value should be that array. I'm extremely confused right now. Does it want me to spread this? I feel like I'm sort of guessing at this point, but okay. That looks better. Okay, that looks better. Okay, we ended up with the right answer, but that was weird. Why would it not print? Why would it not, if I just push the value without spreading it? I have to learn more about that because that's strange. I would not have guessed, I would have not thought that would happen. 61.97. Not too bad. Let's see what the discussions have to say about this one. O of N, Java BFS. Wow. Sorting based solution. Same code, more readable solution too. Okay, we definitely went with this one. I guess breadth first search. O of N with breadth first search. Increment the distance from 0 to R plus C from R point. Generate all points with the distance. Add valid points. Wow. Runtime. O of R plus C squared, which is linear to the total number of cells. Why do you make the code so unreadable? I'm not trying to have a go at you. I'm just curious why you don't format the code. Oh, there was a silly trend to minify the code. I do not do that anymore. For auto if. Okay. This will definitely require some more thinking on my end, but the image below demonstrates the generation of points with distance 5. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then we have all these. Increment the distance from 0 till R plus C. The image below from R point, generate all points with the distance. Add valid points within our grid to the result. The image below demonstrates generation of points with distance 5. That's very interesting. I mean, you can take some easy questions and make them really difficult, because this one, I wouldn't say this is easy, at least not that answer. Probably the easy answer is this one, the one that we came up with, but not the one that they submitted. That definitely looks more complex. We're ending up in the 38 to 60 range, so not the best, but I think I'm okay with it for this question. I'm probably going to wrap it up here since I wanted this one just to be a little bit shorter. Again, I know that we missed yesterday, but you know, it happens. I feel good about it though, in the sense that I was able to take a nice break, and I did spend a lot of time with my family. So that was really amazing. So I hope to see you all again tomorrow, where we will be continuing on our normal schedule of LeetCode Live, just doing daily questions, trying to, you know, get through that goal of doing all the easies, or really just every question on the platform. I will be going on vacation officially in about 14 days, and I do have videos planned for you all to watch on a daily basis during the time that I'll be out. So there'll be no shortage of content during that time, so don't worry about that. And with that being said, I hope you all have a great rest of your Sunday. Let's start off tomorrow, the weekday, strong